When I was little and we used to move all the time, I would write these notes and I would fold them up really small and I would hide them.
What'd they say?
They were just like things I wanted to remember, so that if I ever wanted to go back, there'd be a piece of me there waiting.
A Ghost Story is the newest film that was distributed by A24 Pictures. It was written and directed by David Lowery, and it stars Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck. And basically, the film is about Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck, who are a young couple. Rooney Mara plays M, and Casey Affleck plays C. And they are just kind of having their lives together, and then one day Casey Affleck gets into a car wreck and dies. And Rooney Mara, as she is getting this information upon his death, visiting him in the hospital bed, seeing him for one last time. They put the sheet over him, and then he gets up, and now he is a walking bed sheet with eye holes. Really interesting premise for a movie. I was sold on it just on how absurd that is, and how just the idea of a director being bold enough to try to make that work. And then there was all the festival buzz around it, and it was released by A24, and I was like, okay, something's special about this movie. And it was. Basically, the bullet points of the things you need to know about this movie going into it is very meditative. It is very deliberate, and it is not interested in plot. There's almost no plot in the film, which a lot of the best films in the world have no plot. It is interested in capturing a feeling and to hopefully provide an understanding. And that is my bread and butter when it comes to movies. I love that type of stuff. But it's not really interested in telling a point A to point B story as so much as it is to dig in deep and to possibly find some meaning in all of the many profundities of life. It's astounding what this film gets across just through visuals and through audio. It is a very involved movie. It is very much a movie in that sense. There isn't really much explanation to anything that's happening. You just have to watch and follow along. And the film gives you lots of puzzle pieces for you to try to put together in your head and figure out what exactly it was symbolizing and what it all means. And I love sinking my teeth into that stuff because you can kind of pull your own meaning from the film whenever it provides you those pieces to work with, and everything's not just black or white. Yeah, Rooney Mara was fantastic. Casey Affleck wasn't in the film much as Casey Affleck. I don't know if he was under the bedsheet the whole time, but everything in the film worked for its advantage. There was no weak points in it at all. David Lowery clearly had a very specific vision for what he wanted to do with this movie, and the vision is up there on the screen. And how often does that happen, especially in the modern age? Clearly this was a one for you, one for me type of deal, and they only gave him $100,000 to make it, and that just makes it all the more impressive because it is a highly effective and highly emotional movie. Like I said, it succeeds at everything it sets out to do. It doesn't really stumble with anything. To me, when I watched it, there wasn't anything that felt out of place or felt forced or playing to a certain audience. This movie was a pet project, and those can go all sorts of ways, but this is one of the ones that hit on all of its bases.
We build our legacy piece by piece, and maybe the whole world will remember you, or maybe just a couple of people, but you do what you can to make sure you're still around after you're gone.
And yeah, I adored the movie. I have to give it a soft recommendation based on the grounds that it is really slow, and if you don't know what you're getting into, you probably won't like it. You have to be interested in what this movie can be and not just saying, okay, bedsheet, hole in the eye movie, just give me all you got. I want this to be as entertaining as Saving Private Ryan. You're not going to get that. That's weird parable there, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. It's entertaining if you have the mindset to be entertained by it and what it's doing, and to really throw yourself into the setting of the movie and to the mindset of the ghost and everything. If you can get behind all of that, then you're gonna love this movie. If this just looks like some weird little oddity and you don't want to have anything to do with it, don't have anything to do with it. That's my suggestion on that one. But yeah, loved A Ghost Story. I can't wait to see more movies from A24. I want more movies like this all the time. This is movie making, baby, and I loved it from front to back. And I'm not like trying to say that in a condescending way. I just know people don't like movies like this. I was in the theater with 5 other people. At the end, 2 of them were quiet, 1 had walked out, and 1 guy was complaining about how it was a waste of money. So that's what I mean. You're not going to get anything out of this movie if you're not willing to work with what the movie's giving you. I guess that's the best way I can say it without sounding like a prick. But yeah, this has been Roy on Celluloid, on A24, on David Lowery, on A Ghost Story, on Rooney Mara, on Casey Affleck, on bed sheets with holes in them, on everything all the time. Thanks. Have a good night.